Drop of a hat. Drop of a hat. It's an idiom. It means willing to do something immediately without anyone urging you to do or at the slightest signal. If you do something immediately on a slightest signal, you are really dropping a hat. Let us see it in the examples. The first one, Kiran was willing to help me with my homework at the drop of a hat. I just asked Kiran. Immediately he came and helped in my homework. That's the reason, at a drop of a hat. Second one, I would go to Goa at the drop of a hat. Give me a signal, immediately I go to Goa. That's the reason, at the drop of a hat, I go to Goa. Third one, she would purchase her expensive jewelry at the drop of a hat and worry about how she would pay for it later. So, at a drop of a signal, immediately she buys expensive jewelry. Later, she thinks how to pay for the jewelry. That's the reason, at the drop of a hat. Fourth one, we now have a situation where laws are bent at the drop of a hat. Yeah, it's a fact. People are changing the laws at the slightest signal. Whenever they want, they are changing immediately. That's the reason, at the drop of a hat. Fifth one, we are expecting to just do it at the drop of a hat. No notice or anything. It's disgraceful. They are not giving any notice, they are not giving any circular, they are simply giving a hint so that we have to do it. They are expecting us to do work on that basis. It is really disgraceful. That's the reason, at the drop of a hat. So, when we look at the origin of this idiom, drop of a hat, according to some scholars, the idiom comes from the world of boxing, originated in the United States. During the 18th and 19th centuries, bells were not used to inform the fighters when to begin their bout. Instead, a hat or a cap was used. The referee or the man who was getting the show on the road raised his hat high and then dropped it. The dropping of the hat signaled to the boxers that they could get on with the fight. Later, the same signaling system began to be used in horse racing also. As soon as the man at the starting gate lowered his hat or dropped it, the horses were off and running. So, finally, drop of a hat means willing to do something immediately without anyone urging you to do it or at the slightest signal.